Yes. It's steel.
But you can't be any geek off the street. Gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Keep it real.
Keeping it real.
Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Steven and this is Steel Keeping It Real. Now you know what today is.
But you love me for my twang.
That's right, it is Twang and Tuesday. And on this day I like to feature country music, past, present, or future on the channel. Now the first song that I'm going to play goes all the way back to like 1970. Actually 1969, which happens to be the year I was born. And the song is called Sunday Morning Coming Down. And it was written by Kris Kristofferson. Now, until this very moment, or when I was doing the research for this song, I did not know that this song was a hit for Ray Stevens first. Now, Ray Stevens, you might know as, you know, The Streak and Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer and Hello Margaret, It's Me Again, you know, those particular comedy songs. But he also had a hit with this song, you know, mild hit. But up until this very moment as well, when I'm doing the research for this, and I was going to do clips to show, you know, Ray Stevens, as you might know him, I came across this.
From the way it sounds, they had a good turnout down at the Mount Olive Graveyard.
Now, the song is called Grandpa Voted Democrat, and everything's kind of funny if you're doing it in a parody, but it's the imagery in this video that gets me. And the reason why is that it's irresponsible. You're talking about voter fraud, and then you show people of, you know, pictures of black people looking how they do in the particular pictures that he showed. And then he goes on to show like just a screenshot from Night of the Living Dead. All those things put together make me, you know, say right here and now that this will probably be the last mention of Ray Stevens or any image of Ray Stevens on my channel, because it's irresponsible. Number one, the song's over 10 years ago, so that whole thing right after 45 was elected and talking about this whole voter fraud thing, even though people might have been talking about it before, the big push happened with that, and consisting with or coming to what is going on now, when, you know, now all of a sudden, you know, a particular news station has to pay almost $800 million for touting all that and lying and doing all that. On top of also the fact that once you use the screenshot of Night of the Living Dead and you don't understand the context of that movie was more about racism than anything else. And in the beginning, you know, with the movie, if you've ever seen Night of the Living Dead, and it's one of the very few movies that people can watch actually on YouTube for free because it has no copyrights on it, is that movie has to deal with racism. And it's kind of odd that at the very end of the movie, the last person to survive is the black person, and then it's almost like indicative of the times where, you know, everybody's posing like they would with, you know, certain people back in the day after they would kill them and burning them and everything else like that. That was the whole point that George A. Romero was trying to do at that time, to, you know, do his particular take on racism and, you know, all of a sudden start this zombie craze. So when you're using it in a video and using it as like satire and against the backdrop of showing, you know, people of color in that sense, it means that you're doing it irresponsible. And I'm calling out this old man. And I know old people, you know, especially from back in the day who live in the South, you can't change them. but it doesn't mean I have to go on continuing to support you or even advertise you or help you along in any other way. Not that, I got that many viewers. So, the version that I'm going to play is Johnny Cash's version that came out a year later. And let's take a look at what Johnny Cash did with this song on the charts. And Blammo! It went to number 1 on the US Hot Country Songs, number 46 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 13 on the Adult Contemporary, number 1 on the Canada Country Tracks, and number 30 on the Canadian Top Singles. So, that's a much better deal than what Ray Stevens did, and where he only went to number 55 on the country tracks and number 46 in Canada. So, I also was going to do the Chris Christopherson version, but I will say this here and now. I like Chris Christopherson, and I love him as an actor, and he's a great songwriter. He wrote things like Me and Bobby McGee. He wrote Help Me Make It Through the Night, which I think was a hit for Willie Nelson. He also wrote certain songs called For the Good Times. He was a great songwriter, but his singing voice isn't the best in the world. I mean, he can hold a tune and everything like that, but his singing voice isn't the best. So I will go with 1 year later after Ray Stevens and do Johnny Cash. And that way I finally get a Johnny Cash video out there, as well as a number 1 song, as well as a country song. So if you like videos like this and others on the channel, please don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the notification button, because I'm doing at least 10 videos each and every week. So without any further ado, here is Johnny Cash and Sunday Morning Coming Down.
Let's rock this joint!
She has blistered me. Well, I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head that didn't hurt. And the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. Then I fumbled in my closet through my clothes and found my cleanest dirty shirt. And then I washed my face and combed my hair and stumbled down the stairs to meet the day. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, I'm wishing, Lord, that I was stoned, 'cause there's something in a Sunday this makes the body feel alone. And there's nothing short of dying that's half as lonesome as the sound of the sleeping city sidewalk and a Sunday morning coming down. In the park I saw a daddy with a laughing little girl that he was swinging. And then I stopped beside a Sunday school and listened to the song they were singing. Then I went on down the road, and somewhere far away a lonely bell was ringing. And it echoed through the canyon like a disappearing dream of yesterday. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, I'm wishing, Lord, that I was stoned, 'cause there's something in a Sunday that makes a body feel alone. And there's nothing short of dying that's half as lonesome as the sound of a sleeping city sidewalk and Sunday morning coming down. Thank you very much.
You know what? I've always liked Johnny Cash. I mean, you know, in our time and age, you know, the movie, what was it, Walking Tall, what is it? God, the movie starring, that Joaquin Phoenix did about Johnny Cash, that brought him into this generation, as well as Johnny Cash doing the song Hurt, which was a Nine Inch Nails song, making it his own shortly before he passed away, and rest in peace, Johnny Cash. But, you know, when I talk about Chris Christopherson being a great songwriter, think about the imagery you got from that. You have a man waking up, he's got a hangover, he finishes the beer that he had laying before he passed out, and then that beer tasted so good, he had another one for dessert. He put on the cleanest, dirtiest shirt, combed his hair, went outside, you know, to meet the day. And, you know, and he said he wished that he was stoned because there's nothing like being alone, something to that effect. Now, I did read where that was off of the Johnny Carson show back in 1970, and before he went on the air, they wanted him to cut out the line, you know, about being stoned. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And, you know, normally that would play, but you also got to think of the culture. 1970, you still got hippie culture. People are getting stoned. And, you know, you could get away with that. You know, an artist is like, no, I'm not going to do it. Oh, okay, you're Johnny Cash. So then you have the next imagery. You know, he's walking down the street, he passes by a church, hears them singing, sees a father playing with his daughter and everything else like that. You get this whole imagery in your head, and it's what we like in country songs is the storytelling. That's one of the things I can go back and at least to some people going like, why are you doing, you know, country music? Because some people like, you know, you're black, you're not supposed to be doing country music. But it's like, why are you doing country music? Because, you know, there's a storytelling to it, and everybody likes a story, you know, a good story. So if you are still here, I thank you very much for staying tuned. I really do appreciate it. First and foremost, I want you guys to like the videos as much as I like making them for you. After that, all you need to do to help me out with the channel is to like, subscribe, share, and comment.